Welcome to learn about astronomy, and this is the position of the planets and the moon for the week of Tuesday, January 14th to up to Sunday, January 19th, 2014. Sorry for being late. I was unable to make the cut for the Monday. So what I'll probably do from now on, maybe do 2 weeks every time I do the video, so that I try to miss, not to miss any days if possible. So what's up for the planets and the moon on this week? Well, first of all, you probably notice if you're in the northern hemisphere that the sun is setting slightly later, and we are kind of, yesterday I believe, when the sun set, I was telling myself, well, it does already show that the days are slightly getting longer. So we're going towards spring slowly, but still in the middle of winter. So, but at least it's nice to see that slowly the days are getting longer now. So on Tuesday, January 14th, 2014, we have the sun setting. What do we have next? We have, of course, Venus is gone from our night sky. It was in inferior conjunction this weekend, so now it's in the sun's glare. Although we've seen pictures, people of taking pictures, being very careful of Venus in the daytime. So, but I don't recommend it. It's kind of dangerous, especially if you inadvertently point the sun with your telescope. You can blind yourself immediately. So don't do it. As for Neptune and Uranus, still in the southwest and southeast skies. Uranus being pretty much in a very high position as the sun set. So this is a good time to try and find what is probably the easiest of the very outermost planets. Uranus is possible even in a big city if you have binoculars or telescope. So why not try your hand at it? As the sun sets tonight, Tuesday, January 14th, we have Jupiter and the moon really close together in the east rising, giving us a really, really nice show. If you looked at my video in December, we had such a nighttime show, the moon and Jupiter being really close together. This is an incredible and very beautiful sight. So why not take a look at the sky on Tuesday, January 14th, especially around 8 p.m. You'll see Jupiter, the moon really close next to each other. Fortunately here in Montreal we'll miss that show. It's rather cloudy and doesn't seem like we'll have a clear sky tonight. As night goes on, Jupiter and the moon are really high around 11 p.m., very high in the south. Extremely high, so it's easy to see. Jupiter's very bright. The moon, not full yet, but very, very close. It's going to be on Wednesday. The full moon's on Wednesday. And as night progresses, you'll have Mars rising around 11:30, slowly getting earlier and earlier as the weeks go by. So Mars is coming for a nice spring show. Then we have Saturn rising around 2:30 a.m. And this, of course, is always for a 45 degrees latitude north, so there's slight variations depending on where you are. If you notice the sky on from Tuesday, January 14th up to Wednesday, if you look at the sky every hour until 2-3 a.m. in the morning, you'll notice that you'll see actually the moon move against Jupiter as night goes by. If you see it here, you can see the moon and Jupiter, they're kind of dancing around each other. So that's an interesting little show that you can look at. If you look at the moon and Jupiter every hour starting from, let's say, 7 p.m. tonight, January 14th, you'll see that every hour it seems to have moved slightly against Jupiter. And then we have the sun setting early morning. Lots of planets crammed into the sun's glare. Mercury, Venus, Pluto. Pluto not technically being a planet anymore. On Wednesday, January 15th, as the sun sets, we now have a full moon rising in the east, just to the lower left of Jupiter. So still a nice, really nice show. Jupiter, full moon on Wednesday, January 15th. Full moon is exactly at 11:52 p.m. on Wednesday, January 15th, Eastern Standard Time. So if you're watching the sky around midnight, you're pretty much as full moon as you can be. Neptune and Uranus, of course, high in the south and southwest. And as the night progresses on Wednesday night, January 15th, you'll see that the moon every hour, once again, if you take a look every hour, you'll see that the moon's slightly moving away from Jupiter. Full moon at, that's 4:52 UTC, Universal Time. That's 11:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, full moon here. So basically, if you're up around midnight, why not take a look at what is probably the closest thing you can get to a real full moon. Mars, of course, rising 11:30 to the east, bright, not so bright yet, but getting brighter, orange star. And Saturn rising at 2:30 a.m. If you notice, there's a, just did a little mistake here. Let's go back to 16th. And if you notice on my, I'm not talking about it, you see a comet in the show here. This is what Comet Ison would have been like if if it would have survived the sun. So don't look at that comet, it's not there. But I don't want to actually shut off the comets from my view. As we go into Thursday, January 16th, as the sun sets, we have Jupiter very high in the east, rising, and we have the moon that's going to rise about 50 minutes later. The way the moon works, if you look at the sky every night when it's rising in the east, the moon typically rises about 40 to 50 minutes later every evening. So if you take a look on Thursday, it's going to rise about 40 to 50 minutes later than it was on Wednesday. And on Friday, it's going to be there 40, 50 minutes later than on Thursday, and so on. Still same planets, Neptune in the southwest, Uranus high in the south, and Jupiter very bright to the east, with its moons that are very nice to look at into a small telescope. The moon rising around 5:30 p.m. local time, and as we're going through the night, Jupiter and the moon now separating more and more, but still very nice to look at. Mars rising to the east at 11:30, and so on. Saturn once again 2:30 a.m. On Friday, January 17th, as the sun sets, once again, we have Jupiter very high in the east. Why not take a look? There's Neptune and Uranus, of course, being very nice in the sky. So these are harder to see planets, but they're in what is probably the best time to be watched at this point, as they're slowly going to go into the sun's glare eventually. Moon rising at 6:15, 6:20 in the evening, so like about 50 minutes later than the night before, and now it's getting into a waning gibbous phase. So you're gonna start seeing that the moon is departing from its full phase. You should see that it's not perfectly round now. And as we go into midnight, 11:30, Mars rising once again. Saturn at 2:30 a.m. Going into Saturday, January 18th. Once again, as the sun sets, Uranus and Neptune, still same position. As you notice, Neptune is getting closer and closer to the sun in the southwest sky, probably making it more and more difficult every day to watch, especially because it shines, very weak at magnitude 8, +8, +9, kind of hard to see. Uranus shining at magnitude 6 or 5.7, eye in the south, the easiest of the other planets to see. Even a pair of binoculars will bring a very faint greenish star in the south. Why not try for it? Jupiter, of course, not high, but rising in the east as the sun sets once again. The moon on Saturday will, of course, rise around 7:30 p.m. That's when you'll see the moon rise up as a waning gibbous, and you'll see that it's missing and it's really getting smaller. So you'll see that it's more of an oval shape than a very round shape. And great time to actually watch the moon. Why not take a look through binoculars or a telescope? It's always nice to see. And as the night goes by, around 11:30, Mars rising in the east. The moon will be very high around 2 a.m. in the south on Saturday to Sunday, January 18th to 19th. Saturn rising around 2:15 a.m. And then we'll go into Sunday, last day of this video. As the sun set on Sunday, we will have a Neptune in the southwest, Mercury slowly getting out of the sun's glare. You can see that Mercury is coming for a nighttime viewing in January to early February, so it's going to be a time to actually try and find Mercury in the night sky. Neptune southwest getting slightly lower every day. Uranus very high in the south. Jupiter rising in the east, and then followed by the moon on Sunday, January 19th. The moon rising around 8:20, 8:30 p.m. local time, and really getting into its smaller gibbous phase here. And by the way, on the upper right of the screen, you can see what it basically going to look like at that point, as that little picture follows the viewing of the moon's phase while we're making this video of the planets and moon for the week. And so, as we'll go through the evening of Sunday, January 19th, we'll have Mars rising around 11:30. Why not take a look? And if you're a late nighter, or maybe you work at night, we'll see the bright orange star rise to the east around midnight 30, 1 a.m. And that was pretty much what we can see until Sunday, January 19th, 2014. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe to our channel. You'll be informed when new videos are online. Typically, we try to talk about all the astronomical events as they come through. If something amazing, something new is happening, we'll of course make videos to quickly show you what you can look at. And hopefully you enjoy our videos. We have got some really cool feedback from a lot of people saying that they enjoyed the video, so I hope it continues. And thanks for watching, and hope you come back to learn about astronomy. Bye bye.